Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be rumination and the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please subscribe. So I'll jump right into it. What is rumination? Rumination is when you are thinking about something and it's challenging to get it out of your head. You're trying to figure out a certain situation, event, a place, a person. And in the narcissistic relationship, let's remember that when you were in it, that was a very topsy-turvy, unstable relationship. You were walking around on eggshells. You were giving your energy to an individual, i.e. the narcissist, and you were spinning around on that hamster wheel working for them. Now, I mention that so frequently on the channel because, number one, it's true. Number two, when you were in the relationship, you did not know what you were up against. You weren't taught narcissism in school. And now you're getting the wisdom on my channel. You're understanding exactly what narcissism is and how it affected you for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship. But for this video, it's also ruminating and the narcissist post-relationship. So what happens many times after the relationship has ended, whether you were discarded, you ended it yourself, or however it ended, you will be ruminating, you will be thinking about the narcissist, you will be thinking about the relationship. Sometimes your mind will play tricks on you and you will think about only the good times. Example, maybe great memories that you shared with the narcissist, and you won't be thinking about the reality, which is the not so good times. That is why it is so important and so necessary when you find yourself ruminating post-narcissistic relationships, specifically when you're on the healing path and or you have healed. You will still ruminate at times, believe me, you will. But the ruminations, they fade away. They dissipate over time. But if that's you, think about something. And for the newbies on the channel, let's say your relationship ended recently. This is one of the key things you're gonna have to address, which is rumination. Now, why I'm sharing that is because when you're ruminating, let's say the relationship ended recently for you. Well, now you're definitely going to be ruminating. You're going to be blaming yourself. You're going to be thinking, could you have done more? Should you have done more? Did you do everything you possibly could have for the relationship? The truth of the matter is, if you were in a narcissistic relationship, that relationship was going to end eventually, because each and every relationship has an expiration date. It really, sincerely does. And I'll tell you why that is the case. That's the case because the narcissist doesn't like stability. They don't like to have one person to be tethered to, to stay with. What they like is, despite the fact if they were married or not, believe me, what they like is multiple sources of supply or multiple people to pump up their fragile egos. In other words, the narcissist is a people collector, and you were one of the people that they glommed onto, whether you were married or not. Think about this. And by the way, veterans, drop comments below and help the newbies out. Please share the wisdom, pay it forward. But if you were married to the narcissist, as an example, yeah, sure, you may have had a wedding ring on your finger, but the truth of the matter is that was just a license for the narcissist to abuse you. It was a physical thing, which was the ring on your finger, that showed the world that you two were married. But behind the scenes, behind closed doors, what was it? It was abuse. It was gaslighting. It was being stonewalled, given the silent treatment, experiencing the smear campaign, being ghosted, being not listened to. Think about all these things. These are all true. Again, rumination and the narcissist post-relationship. There's nothing you could have done better. There's nothing you could have done more. You couldn't have given any more to the relationship than you gave. As I mentioned earlier, you did everything you could. You were up against a force who did not want that relationship to succeed. They don't want any relationship to succeed. What they want is they want people working for them, pumping up their egos, giving to a fault to the relationship and to the narcissist. That's what the narcissist wants. They don't want anything other than what people offer them. Keep in mind, again, the narcissist can't fall in love and they have zero empathy. What they can do, and they do, is they literally go from person to person, place to place, all over the town, city, country, or globe, looking and searching for unsuspecting individuals, which at one point in time was you. Now it's not you because you're getting the wisdom on my channel. You're becoming educated and empowered, awakened and aware. So going back to, as the thumbnail mentioned, rumination and the narcissist. If you're ruminating, really understand things weren't as good as you're thinking about. They weren't. Yeah, did you have periods of time where things went well? Absolutely. Did you have periods of time where things could have gone better? Definitely. Did you think that you were in a healthy, stable relationship that was reciprocal? Yes, you did. Did the narcissist think that? No. What they were doing is trying to extract your energy and your resources from you as much as they could, as long as they could, until you A, figured them out, or B, they discarded you. That's exactly how these relationships work. Keep this in mind. So when you're ruminating and maybe you're beating yourself up and saying, wow, I should have done so much more, I could have done so much more. There was nothing you could have done. You gave to a fault. You gave everything you possibly could have. You most likely were a people pleaser, a yes person, and or didn't know how to say the strongest word in the English language, which is no. If that was you, you understand what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the narcissist. Picture this, as I'm mentioning and creating this video, behind me a boat just went by. That was you. You were in the narcissistic relationship in that boat, and you were with the narcissist. You were driving the direction that you thought you should be driving in. What was the narcissist doing? They were poking holes in that boat, hoping it would sink, hoping it would capsize. It's exactly what they were hoping. And they did their best to make sure that the relationship didn't work. And they kept pushing your boundaries and kept pushing you. And you were becoming more and more depleted and weakened. Your resources, your financial resources, your health, your social circle, your status, your money, everything, it was being depleted. And the narcissist knew this. They weren't in that boat headed in the same direction as you. They were going to jump ship as soon as the next boat came right alongside your boat, and they would jump on from your boat onto their boat and disappear. That's what they do, and on and on and on. That is exactly why I'm sharing with you. So if you're ruminating, you're thinking about the narcissist, it's part of the healing path. Remember, the healing path is not linear. In time, in your time, with the proper tools and being patient and stoic and calm and centered and focused, you will heal. But there is a mountain of work in front of you, I can assure you. Take it from me. There's a lot of work you're going to have to do, and nobody's going to do it for you. You're going to have to do it. Having said that, if you're ruminating, yeah, you can be thinking about the good times, because you did have good times, I can assure you. But throughout the body of the relationship, if you compared the good times that you're thinking about with the times that perhaps were not so good, where maybe you had to lock yourself in a room, maybe you had to get out of the house, maybe you didn't want to go to the house, maybe you would open your mouth and say something that was on your mind and you would immediately be shushed or told not to talk, or that you're not important, or that no one likes you, or no one cares about you, or that what you say has no validity. Think about it. If you're being honest and authentic with yourself, really understand, when you're ruminating, what you're doing essentially many times is you're missing what you never had. And what didn't you have that you thought you had? You thought you had a healthy, stable relationship with someone who loved you. Nothing could have been further from the truth. You were in a relationship with an individual who most likely didn't love you. They didn't care about you. They were trying to decimate you, and they were trying to cause or inflict as much damage on you as possible. Again, they never thought you would catch on to this. They never thought you would figure them out. You did, or you're doing it, or you have. And these are good things. So when you're ruminating about the narcissist or the relationship, remember, it will happen. It's part of the path. You have to go through it. What I'm suggesting you do, and this is for the veterans on the channel, the newbies also, but the newbies have a lot more work to do, and I'm not trying to trigger anybody, I'm just being honest with you. The veterans should be reframing this and thinking to themselves, yes, okay, I'm thinking about them a little bit, but now I need to get back to reality, to present day, which is here and now, and I'm narcissist free, and I've learned the lesson from that relationship. And then you go about your business, your day. And my hope is that's what you do. Now, it's not that simple, but that is an outline for you. And for the newbies, you're going to have to really give yourself a break and take a lot of pressure off yourself and understand that the relationship you were in, it was going to expire. It was going to end. There was nothing you could have done, not one thing differently. If you believe there's something you could have done to extend the relationship, okay, I'll give you that. What would it have done? It would have just prolonged the inevitable, which was the culmination of the relationship. It would have just dragged out the relationship a little bit longer until, again, you were discarded or you left. One of the two things was going to happen. The other alternative is you tolerate the poor behavior and you allow them to cheat on you. You allow them to gaslight you. You allow them to display the poor behavior, and you tolerate it. If that's where you are, I strongly suggest you consider exiting the relationship, because you should be treated as you treat other individuals, with kindness, respect, love, empathy, honor, dignity. You should be receiving what you give. Now, with the narcissist, when you are in these relationships with the narcissist, you receive very little of substance. You receive word salad. You receive things that are transactional from the narcissist. In other words, if you do A, B, and C, maybe they'll do one thing for you. And if you don't, then you're going to get a rage fit, or you're going to be gaslit, or you're going to be given the silent treatment. Think about it. These relationships with the narcissists, they are a one-way ticket to Destructionsville. The narcissist knows it, now you're knowing it, and now you understand that you want nothing to do with these people. Nothing. You drown them out. So ruminating and the narcissist, yeah, you will think about the relationship. It's only natural. You will think about people that were a part of your life that no longer are a part of your life. You will think about relationships that were casualties of the relationship. You will think about the narcissist and what you did for them, despite the fact what they did for you, which was very little, if anything at all. And you will understand that, yes, you had to go through this relationship. There was no other way. There was no other way. You could have taken a left turn or right turn. You could have done anything differently. You would have met the narcissist. Because why? Because it was part of your path. It's part of your journey on this thing called life. You could not have changed it. Now, before I close the video, remember this. I've mentioned frequently on the channel, and I'll share it again. You don't want to be living in the past. You can't change the past. You need to learn from the past. You don't want to be predicting the future. We don't know what is going to happen in the future. An asteroid could hit the planet right now. I hope it doesn't, but it could. Nothing we can do about it. What we need to be doing is living in the present moment, the here, the now. Just like I'm creating this video with you, you are consuming it, and you are focused on me as I am focused on you. That is called living in the present moment. So if you find yourself living in the present moment, as an example, and then you drift away and you start ruminating and thinking about the past with the narcissist, stop, pause, center yourself, think about why you're ruminating, and then say to yourself, that was then. I learned a lesson. I understand what the value, I understand that I'm thinking about the narcissist or the relationship, but that was then, this is now. I learned the lesson. Just stay away from me. Say something like that. That's what you need to do, because reframing it and understanding that the relation, when you're ruminating, you're not thinking about the negativity. Most times you're thinking about the fun times that you believe you're missing out on, or FOMO, fear of missing out. I created a video on that in 2021. Check it out. Fear of missing out, FOMO. You're not missing out on anything. One more day in the narcissistic relationship is one more day of abuse, of manipulation, of feeling weak, of feeling invalidated, of not being respected, of not being honored. Think about it. So when you're ruminating, if you are really catching yourself doing that every once in a while or frequently, just stop, pause, think about why you're doing it, and understand that that relationship, not only A, is it over, but B, it's something you had to go through, and C, that was not a stable, healthy relationship. It wasn't. It couldn't be, and it never can be in the future with a narcissist. There's just nothing, there's no core to them. They're empty, hollow shells. They want to take your qualities, your goodness, your empathy, your love, your kindness, everything from you, and they want to weaponize it against you. Think about it. So ruminating and the narcissist, it's something that most everybody does post-narcissistic relationships. Some do it more than others, and as the relationship, as you get further and further away from it, my hope is you will ruminate less and less and less, because that is exactly my experience, and that's what happens, and that's a good thing, because you need to understand where you were, where you are, and where you're going. And where you were for a period of time was in the narcissistic relationship. It was a lifelong learning lesson. Where you are is narcissist free. Where you're going is falling in love again, making friends, traveling the world, creating a future for yourself, and insulating yourself by utilizing boundaries and by utilizing your strengths, your empathy, your kindness, everything I mentioned on the channel. Remember, you come first, second, and third. You are the priority. And if you've come through the fire and risen through the ashes like a phoenix, as I have, you know exactly what you've had to do to get to be where you are right now. It took a lot of work. It took a mountain of work. Maybe you're still on that path right now, doing the best you can to get yourself out of the relationship. If that's you, God bless you. Have a plan, stick with it, stay focused, and exit the relationship if you can. But before I close the video, ruminating and the narcissist, it will happen. Just like this. Watch this as an example. Let's put narcissism on the side for a minute. Think about a childhood friend that you had when you were in grade school. Whoever that person is, think about them right now. Maybe your best friend. Well, now you're thinking about them, right? Exactly. Now, as soon as you think about them and you say to yourself, okay, wow, we shared 8 years together, grade 1 through grade 8. It was great. And then I never really saw them again because they moved. When you do that, then you think, okay, well, I wonder where they are. No, I don't know. They're somewhere. And then you move on. That's the same kind of example with the narcissist. Now, it's a lot more challenging because you're dealing with a toxic individual that you were in a relationship with, but it's the same idea. It's the same basic fundamental foundation. Think about why you're thinking about the narcissist, and then say to yourself, all right, I get it. That was that. It's done. It's over. God bless you. Stay away from me. And then focus on your day. That's what you do. That's a pro tip for you. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. Ruminating and the narcissist. Understand you will be ruminating. It doesn't have to be about the narcissist. Maybe there's something on your mind that is really weighing you down and you're putting it off, or you're thinking about it a little too much. That means take action, do something. And with the narcissist, as I mentioned, if you're ruminating about them and the relationship ended recently, you're gonna have work in front of you. If the relationship ended a long time ago, a couple years or decades, you still will ruminate every once in a while, but just reframe it. Understand that was a lesson. You're here, you're in a much better space, you're in a safe environment, and you're doing great. You're living your best life. Guys, remember, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. You are not alone. God bless you. I love you, and I will talk to you maybe later today. All right, bye, guys.